How to be a strong alpha and influence anyone. 8 Essential Rules. The Art of Influence and Power. You've probably heard about this book, The 48 Laws of Power, by Robert Greene. It's a classic and contains all kinds of tips and strategies that can seriously help anyone develop their strategic thinking. You see, in life, there are techniques you can use to gain power and influence. If you practice and implement all these techniques into habits, you will obtain true power. People will start listening to you, you will actually make decisions, and people will admire you in your field. It would be impossible to go through all the rules of power in 10 minutes, so today I will give you both strategic points and small tips that you can apply to your body language and speech to take control of any situation. The goal of this video is to provide you with skills that you can use to immediately take control of any room. I want you to be able to control the narrative of any meeting, regardless of your role. You will always leave a good impression and be positively at the center of attention. Are you interested in learning all this? Good. Then do me a quick favor before we jump into it. Subscribe right now if you haven't already and click the like button for that sweet YouTube algorithm. Done? Great, let's begin. Rule 1. Fake confidence. Developing true confidence requires time, patience, and a lot of discipline. You probably won't achieve it in less than a couple of months. In the meantime, there are things you can do to appear extremely confident, even if you're not. We call this a short-term solution because it doesn't really solve the problem. It just puts a bandage over it. You will have to solve this problem in the future if you want to live in peace. But it is useful if you need help now. Walk with confidence and purpose. Walk with confidence and purpose. Move only when you really need to. Notice how confident and high-status people move very slowly and take their time. This is perceived as confident because originally in nature, dominant animals move only when they need to and do so to conserve their energy. They don't go to others, others come to them. They move slowly. Move slowly and take your time. Imagine you are talking with your friend. Their arms are crossed, or perhaps their hands are clasped together, and they are fidgeting with their keys or playing with their fingers. They often look around the room and turn to look at the door every time someone enters or they hear something. They look over their shoulders and are slightly hunched over and swallow very slowly. These are all signs of nervousness and even anxiety in some situations. Anyone who is stressed or feeling uncomfortable will show at least one of these signs, if not most or all of them. These are extremely common, and you should do exactly the opposite. Move slowly, take your time, and relax. Sit without stress, control yourself, and don't move. Stay in one place, occupy space. Occupy space. In nature, whenever there is a conflict, animals tend to make themselves look bigger. There are some animals like lions that make it extremely obvious. The reason I'm making this comparison is because all these primordial traits are still embedded in our DNA. If you make yourself small, you will be perceived as submissive. If you want to be powerful, don't be afraid to occupy space. This is usually perceived as attractive in men. Be non-reactive. Being non-reactive is very useful. By non-reactive, I mean both your body language and what you are saying. First, block all your emotional responses to what others say, especially during a confrontation. Never react impulsively before acting and don't show emotions on your face. Don't think too much about your facial expression, or you risk blushing. When it comes to what you are saying, speak only when strictly necessary. It is very, very important. Most people talk without thinking. They continue to talk without thinking about the consequences. Remember, once you've said something, there's no way to take it back. This brings me to Rule 2. Rule 2. Always say less than necessary. This is actually one of Robert Greene's rules of power, and it's about controlling the beast that is your tongue. Again, once you've said it, there's no going back. It's very difficult to fix something after you've said it. Instead of responding quickly, Make it a habit to take your time and think carefully about your response. Calculate the consequences of your actions. It might be difficult at first, but if you keep doing it, you will get better at saying less than necessary. It will also help you generate an air of mystery around you. When people don't know everything about something, they become curious. The practical rule here is the following: people are not interested when they know nothing about a topic. People are interested when they know a little about a topic. For example, they might be missing key information that would make the whole story make sense. People lose interest if they know too much about something. This could also help you in dating, for both men and women. There are specific situations where you should be exhaustive, for example, when reporting to a superior. Rule 3. Have direction. Having direction, in short, means knowing what you are doing with your life. Here's what I mean. Someone who simply wanders around without a real purpose is not attractive. People who work on themselves and are going places, these guys and girls are extremely desirable. They will easily capture the attention of everyone when they talk about their goals and aspirations. This is very common among entrepreneurs, CEOs, and people with power in general. This is because they are very good at selling their vision. For example, the vision of a company could become the driving force in a specific sector or market. If you do something, you also become less available, and that brings us to the next rule. Rule 4. Scarcity. Scarcity increases demand. If something is scarce, the demand usually increases. The less there is of something, the more likely it is to be valuable. Scarcity itself is not the only thing that increases the demand for something, but it is a huge factor. The fact that you are scarce means not being available at all times. Something that many beginner entrepreneurs do is try to appear busier than they actually are. Here's an example. Imagine two dentists, one of whom has a full schedule, and you can only book your appointment at a specific date and time. The second dentist has a schedule that is clear, and they can fit you in any day, any time. This makes you think, why isn't anyone scheduling an appointment with that guy? If he is always available, there must be something wrong with his service. So, if you are not asked and you are always available for people, they usually tend to perceive you as less valuable. It's almost like the more you are busy, the more people will want you. If you are not really busy and you use the technique that is for beginners, entrepreneurs use a packed schedule. Fake a busy schedule. Faking usually doesn't work as well as if you were really in that situation, because most people are bad at lying. They forget to control their body language and tonality. They only focus on the words, so people perceive their lie. Your time will be more respected and appreciated if there is very little of it. You will get faster responses and even more attention. It's literally a huge advantage that will also help you make up excuses for not going out with people you don't like but who still invite you out. Rule 5. Always think ahead. Consider all outcomes and prepare to accept the worst. Most people are afraid to do things, but then they forget that they would actually easily face the worst possible outcome. Here's an example that most people are afraid of: starting a business because they are afraid of failure. Well, so what if your business fails? You will only lose a bit of money. Can you live with that? Of course, you can. So, stop worrying so much. Besides the worst possible outcome, you also need to consider negative reactions. Change your plans and your reaction. Enemies, for example. Let's pretend you want to ask your boss for a raise of $10. It's a bold question. How would you respond? Preparing for that conversation or negotiation, well, considering all outcomes is a very smart strategy. This is what in sales is called an objection, to which you basically prepare and respond to everything they throw at you. In sales, the most common objection is, "I don't have time to talk now." Every salesperson has their response to this, but the point is to do your homework and prepare. Rule 6. Do your homework. I'm not talking about school, obviously. I'm talking about doing things the right way, especially if you enter a negotiation or you have competition. This is so important that businessman Dan Pena puts research as two separate phases of strategy that he teaches in his Guthrie Castle in Scotland. Rule 7. Hide your intentions. One of the best laws of power is to hide your intentions. This is because most people can only focus on one thing at a time. This means you can easily gain power and confuse your competitors or enemies by making it seem like you are pursuing other goals besides the true ones. You have to hide your intention, yes, but not by staying silent and reserved. That is obviously something that people will perceive as threatening or at least suspicious. So, share your goals and aspirations with passion, but not the true ones. Send people off track, and they will attack something that actually has no merit. Now, this might sound strange to you, and you might wonder if the goal isn't to appear as powerful as possible. Rule 8. Be powerful. Don't appear powerful. Trying to appear powerful could sometimes actually take power away from you. You have to make people believe that they are winning while you get what you wanted all along. This is very common in negotiation. If, for example, you want to sell something for $10,000, you should ask for $14,000. Why? Because then you will act as if the adversary is winning, and they will make you lower the price. They will all feel excited because they think they won the negotiation, but you just got everything you wanted all along. See how it works? If you showed them your real cards and what you really wanted, they would have lowered the offer even more. The goal here is to be powerful, not to appear powerful. Sometimes, to be powerful, you have to seem like you are losing. In other cases, you have to show your power and influence. This is usually useful when you need to influence a large mass of people. So, what do you think is useful? If this video was really useful or at least entertaining, please let me know in the comments below. Share your personal experience on today's topic with us. Write it in the comments and ask us any questions you may have, we will be happy to answer. Leave a comment so that we can perfect our creations. We will be happy with your simple like, but the most important thing is not to forget to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the upcoming videos.